I will forever grow and expand in the field of wealth consciousness. I will forever be looking for new mentors. I will forever be deepening my understanding, my wisdom, and my knowledge so that I can be a catalyst for my clients, so that I can be an activator of abundance in the people that I work with. I don't take this lightly. This is Leah Steele, aka The Wealth Witch, and this is my podcast. I'm here to activate you to remembrance of your divine birthright to be wealthy in all areas of your life. This podcast is for people ready to have controversial conversations about the financial control, manipulation, and tyranny that faces humanity today. I'm gonna live in freedom. I'm gonna live my destiny. The Wealth Witch. It's for the people who are ready to wake up, deconstruct their wealth programming, and free themselves from the financial slavery consciousness that serves the global financial agenda. I'm committed to realizing a new global wealth paradigm where economic freedom is the reality and where you get to design and live the life of your dreams. Now let's do the damn thing. Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Wealth Witch podcast. I am your host, Leah Steele. Today on the podcast, we are going to be talking about how a peddler of all is a master of none. So it's that time of year again where everyone is peddling money programs and everyone is suddenly a money coach. The other thing I think everybody suddenly is a human design or a gene keys coach. Seems to be these are the three areas where people in the online space, spiritual entrepreneurs, perceive that people are making money. And so when their niche or their purpose work that they've chosen or their field that they've chosen to work in isn't yielding them the results that they desire, they all of a sudden jump on the gene keys or the human design or the money coach train. And I don't think there's anything wrong with, by the way, having an evolution of the work that you're meant to do in the world. I don't think there's anything wrong with suddenly having a calling to go in a different direction either. But I do think there's a problem with trying to take advantage of issues that are popping up in the collective to benefit self. And I mean, we all do that at some level, right? All of us who are in the online space, all of us who are coaches, all of us who are working in the helping professions, we help people. And it benefits us because there is a financial exchange. There is an exchange of energy there, a value exchange, I guess, is a better way to put it. I give you my time and my energy and my mentorship and my guidance, and you give me money. You give me financial compensation for that. So at some level, all the work that we do in the world, if we're choosing to charge for it, benefits us. That's not really what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is seeing so many people lost that are meant to be guiding and mentoring others. And it's really concerning. And it's really frustrating for those of us that, are taking the time to really hone our crafts and to continue to be lifelong students of our modalities and of the work that we're doing in the world and remain dedicated to the field of study that we're working in and, trying to continually better ourselves and expand our wisdom and knowledge in the areas that we've chosen to be teachers. The frustrating thing for me is to just see people, being like, I'm an expert in all of these things. And because the truth is that you can't be. You really just can't be. There's no such thing as an expert in all the areas. So you can't peddle everything and be an expert in everything because that means you're a master of none. Like when you are trying to be a health coach and you're trying to be a money coach and you're trying to be a human design coach and you're trying to teach people about gene keys and, you're trying to talk to people and train people how to calm their central nervous system. And you are trying to activate their light body codes and all the other millions of areas. Like when you're doing everything, you're mastering nothing. This is what I was talking about on the last episode of the podcast, where it's like, here's one of the reasons why you're probably not successful. Here's another reason why you're not successful, because you're not choosing to focus in on one or two areas and become a master of that. In today's day and age, human beings, we're so quick to want that instant gratification. We want to see instant results. We don't want to put in the work. This makes me think all the time of the tarot card, the 8 of Pentacles. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck because this card to me absolutely always represents that you are going to reap the rewards of the work that you're doing. And the card indicates that the work is going to be hard. You're going to have to work. And in the deck that I use most often that I love so much, which is the Robin Wood Tarot deck, it's an image of a young man who is like an apprentice, and he's carving these pentacles. And he's painstakingly taking the time to carve these pentacles. And then there's all these other pentacles that he's already carved. And it's hard work. It's requiring him to acquire a mastery of his skill. But the promise in the acquiring of that mastery of that skill is that he is going to be rewarded. He will be wildly financially rewarded. It's a Pentacles card, right? It's a money card. So it's he does the work, he gets the reward. And it reminds me of this. I know I'm going to talk about human design. And I'm not a human design coach, and I don't actually teach people in human design. And I love incorporating human designs into my programs. But you know what I do? I go and get a human design expert to come in and teach in one of my programs on human design. I am a longtime student of human design, and I study human design for my own betterment and my own expansion. It helps me understand myself better, and it helps me understand my clients better, and it helps me understand how I interact with my clients better. But in human design, I have the 1648 channel. And this channel has a lot of different names. It's called the channel of skills and mastery. It's called the channel of talent. It's called the channel of mastery, actually. Skills and talent, and the channel of mastery. And there's a bunch of different names for it as well. It's sometimes called the well. Yeah. So, but what this channel is about is people with this channel often come off as if everything is easy for them, that things come super easy to them, and that they're successful at anything that they put their minds to, and that they're good at everything that they do. And it's a really interesting misconception with people that have this channel, because what this channel is actually about is a willingness to show up and master each and every detail of the work that interests the person that has the channel. And so the channel is in energetic support of helping people that have this channel to master anything that they put their mind to. But again, it's you have to have the focus of putting your mind to something. So I can't just go out and be I have this 1648 channel. All of a sudden, I'm going to be a personal trainer. And because I've gone and worked with, because I've worked with personal trainers my whole entire life, now I know enough to be a personal trainer. And because I have this 1648 channel, I'm going to just go be a personal trainer, and I'm going to start collecting money from people on, and teaching them workouts. That's insanity, because I don't have any of those skills. I haven't taken any time to study anything about personal training. And it would be wildly irresponsible for me to do that, right? Even though personally, I have studied and studied and studied and studied and studied in relation to my own body and working with personal trainers my whole entire life, right? Same with human design. Like, people ask me questions about human design all the time in my programs. And I'm like, nope, I won't, I'm not a human design coach. I can maybe tell you a little bit as it pertains to whatever subject matter maybe we're talking about in the program or at that time in the conversation. But I'm always referring people out to the people that I believe are experts in human design, to the people that I work with in human design. By the way, if you're looking for somebody really, really incredible, the best person I know in human design, if you're wanting to explore that, is my cousin, Alicia Baker. And I don't say that because she's my cousin. I am biased. I think she's an amazing human being overall. But I will tell you something about Alicia that I respect. She is a forever student of human design. She is constantly expanding her own wisdom and knowledge when it comes to human design and deepening her understanding of all of it as a whole and expanding into new levels of awareness in human design, and then continuing to hone her craft and mastery of the things that she's teaching. So I have a lot of respect for her because she's in her lane. She loves what she does, and she's willing to put in the hard work to become a master in her field. And it's why I have I never think twice about referring people to her, because she's proven to me time and time and time again, by not getting distracted, by not straying off her path, by not, being like, oh, human design isn't, completely lucrative this month, I'm going to go be a money coach. Even though she's done heaps of my programs and done tons and tons of her own personal wealth repatterning work, she's not a money coach. She's a human design coach and catalyst. And so she chooses to spend her time and energy and money, her most precious resources, continuing to study human design so that she can be a better catalyst for her clients. So this is me too. Like, I will forever grow and expand in the field of wealth consciousness. I will forever be looking for new mentors. I will forever be deepening my understanding, my wisdom, and my knowledge so that I can be a catalyst for my clients, so that I can be an activator of abundance in the people that I work with. I don't take this lightly. Our modality, emotional resonance clearing, I partnered with. I was told in a Waking State Vision several years ago that I was going to download a life expansion protocol. And I was like, I have no idea what that even fucking means. Like, I don't do anything in that arena or in that field. Like, I have no clue why this would be coming to me. But I wrote it down because I always trust that if messages are coming through from the divine, there's going to be a time that it's going to come back around and it's going to make sense to me. Well, so that was actually probably 4 years ago. 2 years ago, I connect with Dr. Michelle Patrick, who is my business partner in my modality, emotional resonance clearing. Michelle's a doctor of Chinese medicine. She's an herbologist. She's a naturopath. She has many PhDs. She is a lifelong student of Chinese 5-element theory. And the two of us came together, and I brought my emotional clearing skills and tools and my exposure to kinesiology and NLP. And we both combined our understanding and wisdom and knowledge of some pieces of neuroscience, and we created our modality together. Michelle is the expert in 5-element theory. Michelle is the expert in traditional Chinese medicine. I am the expert in emotional clearing. And we came together in partnership to create this incredible modality that is now out there and changing lives. And I am an avid student of 5-element theory. And so I learn from Michelle all the time, and I'm constantly reading books, and I'm constantly diving deeper into the theory and the thought and the philosophy so that I can hone my skills to be a better catalyst for my clients and for my practitioners. But I'm not out there trying to be everything to everybody, because when I'm trying to be everything to everybody, I'm a master of none. And what the world needs right now more than anything is for you to be the master of what you are the master of, and for you to make a commitment to being a master of that thing, to being dedicated and disciplined to honing your craft. We talk about being dedicated and disciplined to our personal practices, and to our conscious connection with God, source, universe, all that is. Like I talk about that a lot, but this is just as important. Are you dedicated to honing your craft? Are you willing to work on mastery of your field or of your subject matter or of the thing that you're desiring to teach about, even when it gets difficult, even when perhaps you're not being financially rewarded and compensated the way that you would like to be? Or are you just going to fucking abandon ship and go be a money coach and put out a money program because you see Amanda Francis is making money doing it, I'm making money doing it, and you're just like, hey, if they can make money doing it, maybe it's time for me to put out a money program, when really you don't know anything about wealth consciousness other than your own personal journey. This is where things start to get dangerous. And, and I do get the shits about it. Like I'll be scrolling Facebook and I'm just like, here we go. Everyone's a freaking money coach again this week. Everyone's releasing a money program. And many people are now releasing human design and Gene Keys money programs. And there's nothing wrong with that. There really is nothing wrong with it. And I'm happy for anyone who really truly feels that they're having an expansion of the purpose work that they're here to do in the world. But this is why people don't find success, because they're not willing to become a master. They're not willing to put in the work to get the reward. They're not willing to stick with their field of study even when things get difficult, even when they're not being financially compensated the way that they desire to be financially compensated. They give up. They move to something else. They won't become a master. They just want to be a peddler of many. And when I talk about, are you in the 10%? The only 10% of spiritual entrepreneurs are going to find any level of success. The peddlers of many will never find success. They will never find themselves in the 10%. They will never find themselves in the 5%. And they certainly will never find themselves in the 1% of spiritual entrepreneurs that are wildly, wildly successful in all the areas that we find success, right? Not just financial. I really, truly believe that if more people honed in on their craft and became dedicated to mastery in their field, that they would find success. And I guess the problem with that is, being human beings, that typically doesn't happen overnight. People look at me and they're like, oh, Leah, she's the wealth witch. She's got these signature wealth consciousness programs. She's helping people repattern their wealth programming and conditioning. But what they don't see and what they aren't aware of is the years that I've been working towards this, the years that I've been doing my own personal work to deconstruct my own money shit, to be, and that I continue to, that, I was actually speaking at an event last night and we had this beautiful women's circle and all these women came together and I asked them to start talking about their pain points around money. And it was a room full of professional women and nobody wanted to say anything. It was really fascinating. Nobody wanted to say anything. And it was this, because there is obviously this taboo around money. We're not supposed to talk about it. And especially for professional women who are perceived to be successful, we can't tell people about our money shit because then they'll know we don't have our shit together, right? So it took a little bit of ice breaking and it took a little bit of like prompting these women to start talking about what was really going on with them in relation to money. Some of them had been born, to multimillionaire families. Some of them had been born in poverty. All of them had achieved a level of success in their life. But they're all still dealing with massive programming and conditioning around money. And there was a point in the night when I felt like, some were sharing and then others just weren't. And I was like, look, like I'm the wealth witch, right? I'm Leah Steele, the wealth witch, and I don't have all my money shit figured out. I am still always day to day on a constant journey of stepping into greater levels of custodianship around money. Holding myself accountable for where I fall out of personal integrity when it comes to my relationship with money and wealth. redefining what wealth means to me. Like, it's a constant journey and evolution. But the reason that it's a constant journey and evolution for me is because I am dedicated and disciplined when it comes to honing my craft. I am willing to do whatever it takes to learn more, to grow more, to expand more, to dig deeper, to get all of my own personal shit out of the way. And I say all the time, I'm like, the people that do money work don't do money work because they have all their money shit figured out. They don't do money work because they were born with a silver spoon in their hand and never had an issue with money. They do money work. Well, sometimes they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but let me just tell you that sometimes comes along with more issues than growing up in poverty. But I'll save that for another podcast. People who do money work are called to do money work because they have fucked up money shit. And they've had to work through it in their lives, and they've had to overcome it, and they've had to step through those fires and perhaps stand in those fires for a really long time and revisit those fires and restoke those fires and continually have Phoenix rising from the ashes moments. Like, that to me is money work. And yes, have I come a very, very long way? And do I have a lot of information and wisdom and knowledge to share with people? Absolutely. Have I figured it all out? Absolutely not. And I don't think I will ever have figured it all out. But that's the beauty of continuing to try to achieve mastery in my field, is no matter how much I know there's always so much more to learn. And my field excites me that much. I am that passionate about it that I choose to spend my free time studying it, expanding in it, learning more, growing more, and doing my own personal work. These are the spiritual entrepreneurs that you will see in the next several years rising to the tops of their fields. Those that are willing to be dedicated to mastery in their fields, that aren't trying to peddle all. They want to be a master, and they're willing to put in the work to be a master. You know, I think about like this message that I'm putting out right now on the podcast, and I recognize and realize that people may be like, oh, she's being so fucking judgmental, or, oh, she's, you know, I can get that the tone of what I'm saying right now could be taken as, you know, me being irritated that people are out there imitating me, or me being irritated that, you know, people are trying to enter into the money space. And it's actually not that at all. It's just the inauthenticity reeks off of these people that do this. And I just get blown away by the fact that people actually think that in today's day and age, that's going to work, that their clients and their people that are following them and their community is going to be that stupid. And then I get offended for the people in the community, because I'm just like, oh my God, how stupid do they think you are? Like, they were just a health coach last week and now they're putting out a money program. That frustrates me, because I do believe that as spiritual entrepreneurs, we have a greater moral responsibility than the average entrepreneur who's just out there to make money. Because we've chosen a path of spirituality, because we've chosen to be committed to the ascension of humanity, because we've chosen to walk a spiritual path, and we're entrepreneurs. I believe we have a level of responsibility to the collective to not be throwing spaghetti at walls, to not be selling things that are out of integrity, to not be inauthentic in the work that we're doing in the world, to hold ourselves personally responsible and accountable for the work that we're doing and the impact that it's having, not only on the individuals that are directly working with us, but the other people that work then ripples out to, within our clients' families and their, you know, friend groups and their extended communities. You know, the ripples that we create out in the world are so much greater than we can imagine. And I do believe that we have a level of responsibility for that. And I believe that if we continue to come back to this idea of what do I desire to be the master of, and we make a commitment to hone our craft and to continue to show up, maybe even when things aren't, you know, as easy as we would like them to be, when we're willing to like fully embrace that card, that 8 of Pentacles card, and do the hard work, we will absolutely get the return on investment. We will be rewarded more greatly than we can even comprehend. And I've seen this happen time and time again. So I'll leave you with that. Some reflection perhaps as we're ending this podcast and as you go out into your day of what do you desire to be the master of? And where are you peddling the many instead of mastering what you are here to master? Until next time, this is Leah Steele, the Wealth Witch, Wealth Consciousness Master in training, signing off. That's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to connect with me on social media and reach out. I love hearing from you. And if you want more of me, real, raw, and uncensored, make sure to join the Wealth Witch Telegram channel. It's my free channel where I share all of my random daily musings as well as the information that I feel like is important and pertinent to my community. We've put a link to the Telegram channel in the show notes, so make sure to come join us over there if that intrigues you. Remember, wealth is a mindset, and you are the most powerful creator in your reality. Until next time, this is the Wealth Witch signing off.